All right, we will call this meeting to order at 5 o'clock. And we have everybody here from our committee except Patrick, who has an excused absence. We've got our agenda. We need to add 2 items to our agenda.
Daniel, can you speak a little more into your microphone, please? Thank you.
My other computer. We are adding the minutes for our previous meeting, the short meeting.
That's item 15.
Which is item 15, and that was for our what date was that? 9/13 meeting. That will be item 15, and item 16, we are adding our fence exterior alteration for 15 Sweet Clover Circle. That will be item 16.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted as item 15.
Oh, wait, you got to approve the agenda first.
Oh, my bad.
You want to do that? We'll take it.
Oh, yeah, let's, I make a motion to approve the amended minutes or agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Right. All opposed? Okay. Well, let's go to item 2 and approve the minutes for our 9/5 meeting.
Microphone, please.
Approve our minutes for our 9/5 meeting, item 2. Motion to approve the minutes for the 9/5 meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Jump down to 15, which is the minutes for our 9/9 meeting.
9/13.
9/13 meeting. Make a motion to approve those minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we got that part done. All right, well, let's jump to item 5 with Richard.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we talked to you a couple weeks ago. We met you on your site. I think that was who we spoke to. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah. I couldn't come out because I'd been sick.
Okay. Well, we spoke to somebody there, and we did ask you for some arborist report on the trees that you're requesting removal. And
Right. And you now have those as well as approval by the county.
yeah, I saw that, and I appreciate your getting that report. When we went out there, we were a little, we were all kind of on the fence about it because the trees looked healthy. We understood there was an issue with the proximity to your house, but we did want a little more clarification as far as an arborist report, just to confirm what we thought you were suggesting. And we appreciate that you got that for us and looked at that, and I think we looked at that favorably. Any comments, anybody? Anybody want to make a motion on this one?
May I,
Go ahead, John.
Just a real quick comment. Thank you. If we were to approve tree removals, will we also add a stipulation for replanting trees?
I think in my mind, based on what I saw from his property and the number of trees he has there, I wouldn't necessarily require that, but does anybody else have any opinions about that?
I would agree with John normally, but I also agree with Daniel that the lot location has a lot of trees on there. It's pretty, it's well populated.
Yeah, generally it is our procedure to our policy to ask for replanting trees, and I think Richard, you were on the ACC at one point, so you probably know the policies for as far as removing trees and replanting. But I think we decided that it's not quite necessary for you because you do have a lot of trees.
Are we talking about 109?
Well, actually, we looked at the whole thing as a whole, really.
Okay, well, the cedar tree is not gonna be removed. It's just gonna be limb.
Okay, yeah, that
And
one was in the middle of a bunch of other trees, is that right?
And 21, the hemlock, I do plan to remove, and I agreed with the county that I would replant 3 trees for the removal of each one, so.
Okay, well, that's great.
hemlock, I'll plant 3 trees.
That's great when when you could do that. I think is that the one that was on the nurse stump?
I'm sorry?
Is that the one that was growing from the nurse stump?
Yes,
Okay, yeah, that's great. It's great when people can replant. So, any other
Well,
comments about these two properties?
I just
Motion-
appreciate that effort by Richard to do the best he can in abiding by the county and the ACC policies for replanting. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, and actually meeting with us to with the arborist report. That's much appreciated.
Alan, did you have a
well,
motion?
sure. I'll start with number 5, 109 Windward. Motion to approve 5 is submitted.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Then I'll go item 6. Motion to approve item 6 is submitted.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, thank you so much, Richard.
all right, thank you.
All right, we will move on to item 12, Dimitri. Yeah, so we went and visited this site and determined that those trees definitely are dead and probably could be removed without any problem. Does my committee think that we need to do any replanting for these 3? The 2 are definitely dead and falling over. One was dying, it looked like to me.
Question for Daniel. Are we on item 12?
We are
Yes.
on item 12.
Okay. All right.
We
That makes
visited.
sense?
Yeah, I'll comment it. I'm looking at page 1 of the arborist report. The tree of concerns, the healthy Douglas fir. And conclusion, the tree is low risk to surrounding structures. So the arborist report says the tree is fine if we're talking about the same tree. Page 1.
The tree is currently alive and well, quote unquote.
Can I add to that? So between me submitting for those 3 trees, this is a buyer for this house. They originally requested that the healthy tree that I got an arborist report for. And then between me, after I got the arborist to check it out, and it is a healthy tree. And then they added the other dead trees in the request to die. So as far as the tree that got the arborist report, they're okay with saving it just because it does look like it's dying or whatever, but it just grew under the canopy of the big trees and it just looks like that. But so as far as today, I would really ask for those other the dead ones completely. They're like 20-foot sticks.
Yeah, so you had 3 of them flagged.
Yep.
And 2 of them were definitely dead and falling over. There was one that looked like it.
Yeah.
It didn't look real healthy to me, but I would defer to the arborist report, obviously. And if you don't need that one cut, that's fine. Then I don't think anybody's a problem with those dead ones coming down though.
Right.
So are those numbered in a way that we can indicate which ones we would approve?
As far as the pictures, the single one, well, I guess there's pictures, the ones that don't have the tops. would be removed. And then the one that's behind the house would stay.
Okay. So the two in the stand of trees that look sickly and bare of limb would go, but the one behind the house would stay. And that,
Correct, yeah.
And what kind is behind the house? What kind of tree is it?
I think they're all firs, as far as
Oh.
I know.
Yeah, the one behind the house is, by Arborist Report, page 3, is a healthy Douglas fir.
Yeah, so
Right.
that would, the healthy Douglas fir would not come down then, but the
Correct.
other two would come down.
Correct.
So I make a motion to approve the two trees on the side coming down, but keeping the healthy Douglas fir with the diameter, 14-inch diameter and height of 70 feet tall.
And may I also add to that no replanting would be necessary.
good,
Okay.
John. Yeah. I'll second. Yeah,
All in
sorry.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, thanks, Dimitri.
All right, thank you very much.
I'm sorry, who made that motion? Was it Daniel?
Yes.
I did, yeah. You
I was
said, you
busy
said I can now.
writing all the trees and which one was which. Thank you. And it was unanimous, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Item 3, 58 Windward. Tree removal.
Motion to approve as submitted.
All in favor?
Just one moment, please.
Yes.
Sure.
Just looking at my notes. Did we determine that it was not a shared ownership tree? I'm sorry, I'm just catching up here.
We didn't go by there.
I think that this one says, I give permission to remove the red alder tree in the backyard. Is that
Okay.
a neighbor? Yeah, tree is on the property line. Neighbor sent an email.
Okay, thank you.
I'll go back and reiterate. A motion to approve number 3 is submitted.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Item 4, removing 4 trees. This was another one that looked like there were 3 that were definitely very unhealthy or dead, and one of them seemed to be okay. Tree 4 is a moderate to or partial crown failure.
Yeah.
It's apparently toward the house.
So there was 3 highs and 1 moderate, I think.
That's correct. Page 5 and 6.
Yeah. So, and I just said, let's just get them all. So I was going to approve it as requested.
They indicate that the tree is leaning toward the house.
Yeah.
This may be a case where we can have a replanting.
Sure.
Yes.
So it sounds like we are approving the removal of 4 trees and having them replace
Yeah.
3 to 1.
With a stipulation of 3 to 1 or 1 to
That
3.
sound good?
Yeah.
So 12 trees.
12 trees.
May I add that depending on their property and the open space around it in terms of growing trees, that we would stipulate a 3 to 1 replacement with the owner's best effort to make that happen versus this real hard line in the sand.
I'll agree with that.
I think in this case that's appropriate.
Agree.
Okay, so restate that again? Sorry.
Why don't you state that one, John?
Motion to approve item 4, tree removals at 148 Windward Drive as stipulated, and just a brief comment that a 3 to 1 replacement by the owner
Recommended.
recommended.
You have that, Diane?
Got it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Item 7. More trees being cut. A lot of trees being cut this week.
Yeah. Comment, I would be willing to approve pending the homeowner following county recommendations.
Any plantings?
I'm looking. I don't see replanting. I don't see replanting on the county requirement. Somebody else check me on that.
Did you all see the neighbor's letter?
Yes, yes. Yeah, they do, you know, that's right. Thank you, Diane. The neighbor is approving the removal of this tree as long as there is a replacement
Yeah,
privacy barrier replanted.
for
So
privacy, yeah.
I would guess maybe I mean, should we require a height of a replanting? I mean, you could put 3 small boxwoods there and in 10 years it might cover it, but should we require something higher than that? The neighbor is asking for the privacy.
Do we have that neighbor's approval on item 7?
We do.
Page 12.
It
Page
was
12.
added at the end.
Oh, gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah.
Provided a privacy bush shrub is planted in its place.
Yeah, that's where I was going. What if we just say, get a quick fill bush? You know, instead of a tree.
So how can we clarify that? Should we give it a height?
How about we say, what if we figured a height and the width and say you have to buy a number of plants to fill that area? So what would be a reasonable screen?
Maybe
4 by 8,
5 foot high by 6 foot wide?
5 by 6? Okay.
Yeah.
So say buy sufficient quantity of plants or shrubs to block a 5 foot by 6 foot privacy screen.
Yeah, approval to have that tree removed, provided that privacy screen is replaced with 5 by 6 shrub or bush.
Okay.
I would just like to, excuse me, I'd just like to add that we did have a short conversation about whether this tree could just be limbed, but given its proximity to the house and the other trees in the immediate area, I think it's probably a good idea to have it removed.
Yeah, I looked at the limbing option too, and it seems like you'd be cutting quite a bit of the tree to get to that point, or
Correct.
to make any difference.
I agree.
So that's a
Well,
good point.
and they went to the trouble to get a permit from the county and everything, so.
Yeah.
As far as
a great
what we
plus.
replace it with, I wouldn't want to get too specific. Like, it seems like the homeowner and the neighbor are on the same page of they're gonna work on something there, so. I would not want to get too specific on, like, you've got to plant this many or this size or whatever. It seems like they're on the same page. Maybe let them just include in there that a stipulation that they plan an appropriately sized replacement to meet the neighbor's requirements for privacy.
I can live with that.
Well, it sounds like you got a motion almost there. Dan, you want to go with that?
Well, I'm stepping all over Alan's emotion.
No, please take it away.
I'll make a motion to approve with a stipulation that they work with the neighbor to create an appropriately sized privacy screen through the vegetation. So,
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. All opposed? Okay. Yeah, that was a good way to put that, Dan. Puts
Welcome
the
home.
onus on the neighbors working together to make it work.
Now, technically, couldn't they, the neighbors decide that they need to agree on something and then get permission for a vegetative privacy screen?
What do you mean?
To plant vegetative privacy screens don't they technically need to get approval from the ACC?
Yeah, it's usually an exterior alteration request form.
So I'd say as long as the neighbors agree, is what we're saying, that they
Yeah.
can go ahead and do that. Otherwise, they would come to us with some kind of alternate plan or something.
Yeah, but I guess I'm looking at it as like for like.
Right. I'm having more of just a comment than anything else right now, and ready to move on.
Okay, is that comment on our, are you using that comment in your in the motion, Diane?
I
Or
wouldn't, I wasn't gonna put it in the motion, but I can put it, because the
As a
motion was
comment.
already done and voted on.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean, just as,
Yeah.
just so they
Uh,
get that.
I don't think it needs to be included in the comments. I'm just making an observation.
Gotcha. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, our favorite one of the week, item 8.
Oh,
Did he decide not to come because you met with him, Morgan?
No, he said he couldn't come at 5 o'clock today.
Okay,
Morgan is the son of the owners,
and the builder.
Oh, right, yeah,
and he's the builder, yes.
yeah, we spoke with him quite a bit, so I think we get the idea. I think our only concern was, everything looked good, but we were a little bit concerned that he understand that there is a setback requirement. It looked like I'm not sure if the deck, but I think the shed may get pretty close to the setback.
and we do want formal plot plans showing the work. So I was considering this more approval in concept rather than an alteration request approval. We're not telling him. Does that make sense?
This is
Yes,
for-
and we're talking about item 8 now.
Correct.
I agree, Alan.
The door and stairs.
A bit more details with respect to the plot lines.
Yeah, we did talk to him about making this an in-concept approval, and he was amenable to that, I think.
Does
He wanted to know that he can move forward with this, and if we can turn this into an in-concept approval,
But if
I
it's
would-
in concept, he can't move forward.
Well, Diane, can we say we are approving your preliminary submission? Please follow up with a formal submission as soon as possible.
And what is it that you want on it?
So the package are elevations and dimensions of rooms, things like that. What's missing is, for me, was the lay of the house, the land, and the four particulars, the alteration of what is it? The plot occupation,
Property coverage,
property coverage. Thank you, and then the overall
open space.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thanks,
okay,
John.
so it's, and I'm not part of the committee, but I did talk to the
Well-
architect, so I'm trying to figure out how I need to word this. All they're doing is including in the staircase, and I did talk to Joel also, because I wondered if this was supposed to be an addition.
Right.
And so Joel definitely said no setbacks are affected by it, because he looked at the plans and he talked to the architect. All they're doing is enclosing something that's already there. So it didn't affect anything.
Yeah, I
So
think he gave us some pretty specific drawings. We did have a couple questions. Some of them he was able to answer with the drawing. The answer was on the drawing that helped us out as far as the roof. We had a question about the roof. And that is on the drawing. I was a little bit concerned about the setbacks, but it sounds like Joel's looked at it. Other than that, I don't have any further questions about what his intentions are.
May I add, hopefully,
John.
some clarity? So if we're talking about item 8,
Yeah.
which is the addition to the house of a stairwell and removal of some exterior stairs and so forth. and item 9, which is the shed. If we're looking at item 8, I think that falls clearly within the guidelines of setbacks and so forth. Item 9, I think we would have a different discussion about the setbacks.
Well, 9 we did approve. I think it was just, he was asking for, did we approve that with as long as he put the corrugated roof on, or did we just not approve that one at all? Previously denied.
We denied it.
Okay. Okay, so let's
So
do,
I think item 8 is, in my mind, item 8 is good to go because it doesn't infringe on the setbacks, and it's a solid construction plan, and it also took into account that big, wonderful Japanese maple tree that his mother wants to keep intact. And I would leave it at that. And then item 9 we'll discuss when we get to it.
okay. Are you satisfied with that, Alan?
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I think
Dan?
the question on item 8 was the setbacks, which aren't an issue because they're gonna enclose the staircase and redo it internally, which it's already occupied in the setback footprint, so there's no additional encroachment into the setbacks.
Yeah.
The other issue that we had was by adding the 88 square feet, does that change anything relative to the property coverage? And I think when we did the math out there, the house is pretty small. It's only 1,400 square feet on 2 stories. So I don't think that adding those would change it, but there's nothing in here that documents that. So I think
No,
the question is like, just based on our visuals and the math that we did sitting out there, are we comfortable that they're enclosing that staircase isn't going to change the property coverage or the total lot square footage of the house to the lot? I don't think it does when you look at it, but again, we don't have any documentation that says with this addition, it's now 41% or whatever.
Do you want
Yeah,
Joel to
I think we
provide
could-
that? Because he did look at this in depth.
Well, could we leave it at approval with the stipulation that it stay within those open space and ground coverage percentages?
Yeah, again, I think we looked at it and reasonable people could agree, but there's nothing that quantifies it. So I would be comfortable approving it with a stipulation that it be reviewed by Joel to confirm that it stays within all the coverage requirements.
Yes, that sounds
I'm
good.
good with that.
I think, Diane, didn't you just say that Joel assessed that it was fine?
He did,
He
but
assessed
I'm
the
sure,
setbacks.
I'm sure that he will, no, he did both. Because
Oh, did
my
he?
question had to do with, is this an addition, a tier construction? And we fell back actually on your garage, Daniel,
Yeah,
because it was an existing roof and you're just enclosing an existing roof. And basically, this is the same kind of thing.
But if you look, Diane, he's actually adding roof. Actually
Right, but the
roof line.
staircase covers the ground.
Right,
So
but
it's already part of the coverage is calculated, is my understanding. But what
And I
I'm
think
saying
you
is
get-
Joel will write you guys up something, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm like 99% sure.
Yeah, I'm confident it's all covered. I think we just, for the construction file, for the homeowner's file, we need to just have Joel do whatever he does that says, yeah, I reviewed this, and the addition of the enclosed staircase doesn't, meets all these property requirements, because they are adding to the roof line. If you look at page 8 of item, or page 4 of item 7 of item 8, if you look at the rear side view, you can see they're adding it's a small piece, but they're adding a piece to the roof line in order to be able to cover the enclosed area.
That's correct.
Right, but it was my understanding what he said was because the stairs already are acting as covered property. So even though the roof's above it, those stairs are already there, but he'll write you something, I know he will.
Yeah, that's all we need. We don't need to see it. I think it's just as long as there's something for the
Yeah, in the
records,
file.
we
I
stay
got you.
consistent. So I'll make a motion that we approve it with the contingency that it be reviewed by Joel with documentation to the file that it meets all the property coverage requirements.
Item 8.
all in
Yes.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, 9.
That's a good way to phrase it, Dan. I appreciate that.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Item 9 is the shed, which originally we had no problems with other than the roof, but on visiting the site, it looked like it may be close to the setback. And I think Diane, did you say that it's already been reviewed for that?
No, Joel did not look at the
Okay.
shed. He only
Okay.
looked at that addition.
I think
Potential
here's
addition.
where we need to have them resubmit with drawings and so forth to make sure that the shed does not infringe on the 5-foot setback.
Well, I mean, the drawings are pretty clear. I don't think the drawings would make any confirmation to that. I think if Joel could check it out based on the dimensions that are indicated here. And
One-
I think the guy that we spoke to, was that Morgan? Somebody's name
Yes,
was?
yeah,
Yeah,
He said that he would be willing to pull in the dimensions of the shed a little bit if necessary.
to move it over.
Yeah,
I would like to see him produce a document to that effect. Because
Site plan?
it was really very close, and he's saying, "Oh, we can move it 2 feet this way or something," and I think that's a little bit loose for our standards. And I'm sure Morgan will go back to item 9 and say, "Okay, I'll give you the drawings that show setbacks and so forth that actually meet our requirements."
well, what if we just left it the way that we did with item 8, where we approve it as long as Joel checks out the setbacks? It's essentially the same
Yeah,
thing. Does that sound good, John?
If the committee thinks it is, I would go with that.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, since we already put him off on this one once already. Um, and I think he'd be willing to work with Joel if there is a problem.
That's a good solution. Thank you.
Okay, motion to approve pending
nine.
Joel's Alan, what?
I was just saying item 9.
Item 9, yeah, motion to approve pending Joel's review of setback. All in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay. Item 11, retaining wall.
Item 10 was withdrawn. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, retaining wall. Let's see. All right, yeah, this is just a variance request. That's looked at, I think, for 2 weeks already, and we're allowing a stone fence within 1 foot of the property line. So it's a retaining wall, I guess. So we're approving a variance here. Anybody have any comments about this?
I just want to say I opposed the original request for this, and I will oppose it today just because it's within the setback.
Yeah.
I know I'm out of sync with the committee
Well,
on that.
let's I make a motion to approve.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I'm opposed.
Okay.
got it.
Item 13. This is the siding.
I'll pending any discussion, I'll motion to approve item 13.
All in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Item 16.
14 was removed, item 14.
Yeah.
Item 15 was approved.
Right.
Approved. Item 16 is a slight change to something we approved last time. Apparently, last time we approved a replacement of this old wooden fence with a Allen black fence, and now the owners would like to replace that design with a stone retaining wall,
And it's gonna be less than 4 feet high.
less than 4 feet high. And structured, it looks like the same way, with the same backing.
I would like to propose a motion unless someone has comments.
No
Go for it,
comments.
John.
Motion to approve item 16, alteration request for a retaining wall at 15 Sweet Clover Circle as submitted.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. I think that's everything for this week.
Holy moly. Half an
Wow.
hour.
35 minutes.
Adjourn
Good job,
yet?
everyone.
All right, move to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What time? What time?
5:36.
5:36?
Do we have to return some of our pay this month?